Okay, so recently it seems that there's been a little bit of a situation going down with Kiara and also with the whole Holostars stuff. Now, if you don't know, we talked about it in the last video. Essentially, Holostars will be kind of limiting a lot of the kind of stuff that they do now in terms of covers support. There won't be like any events or concerts or merch or anything like that. And it seems like, yeah, they're going into full like kind of, I don't know how to describe it, like just like bare bones mode, right? Where, you know, they can still stream and stuff under the Holostars name and all of that kind of stuff, but they're not going to get much like community, like not community, collaborative support or anything like that. They're going to have to do stuff on their own in terms of events and things like that. But essentially, there's been obviously a lot of people that have been commenting on it, including Kiara, obviously a member of Hololive. And essentially, it seems like she has made a couple of comments which have been misconstrued by a lot of VTuber fans and also just other people as well, not even just VTuber fans, just people in general, right? Which I think is pretty unfair. Now, of course, yeah, here is the post that she actually put up saying, no matter how talented you are, you might not end up being successful. What's needed then is either incredible luck with algorithm or support from others to push you towards where you need to and deserve to be. It's frustrating when you have neither of those. And obviously, that is the comment that she made on, you know, kind of the Holostars situation, right? And I think that's fair enough. I think that is a, you know, I think that is a truthful comment. I don't think she said anything wrong there. And it is true, right? Even if you are the most talented person on earth, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to succeed, right? And I think that is a very good point. And especially in terms of content creation, if you think about content creation in specific, you know, even if you're talented at what you do in that field, sometimes the algorithm just don't pick it up, right? And sometimes it is just luck, whether you get seen, whether you succeed at that, and whether you continue to grow with that. It is all luck. It isn't, you know, obviously the talentedness is something that will get you there whenever you do get that luck, or if you do get that luck. But obviously the actual luck itself may never come, right? And I think that is a very important kind of point there. And obviously they say, you know, there's also the point of support and having other people to push you to, you know, tell you that you deserve to be there, which is also a very good point as well, because of course, you know, the longer you try to, I guess, succeed and, you know, get that luck, the higher chance you have of succeeding, right? And the only way to do that really is by having support and by having people and other people to push you even further so that you can, you know, finally reach that, right? And she's obviously mentioning the fact that, you know, a lot of these Holostars members will not have that kind of support, right? And it is very disappointing because, you know, a lot of the time it is just luck. But, you know, they now won't have that little bit of an extra push from, you know, a lot of people within cover and whatever, and then Hololive and Holostars itself to kind of, you know, succeed maybe in the way that they want to, right? And obviously a lot of people say in fridge screens, so people forget this could have easily been Hololive EN. Kali and Kiara in particular toiled for years previously without much recognition. All 5 of Myth has talked about maybe hitting 100k subs in a year if they were lucky, even Holo fans back then. Saying getting recognized by bigger creators is key, I think. Say, I wonder what Kiara's talking about. Oh, that sucks. Said, you're right. Those are true words. But even when you understand all of that, it's hard to accept that you just got unlucky. It's not that you did anything wrong or that you're bad. It's just that you either missed your chance or maybe it was never there for you in the first place. Which obviously, yeah, I mean, that is true. And obviously we're talking about the fact that, you know, Holostars wasn't exactly very successful in terms of the viewership that it brought in, and that is the reason why Hololive, not Hololive, cover has taken it down, right? I'm not taking it down, but again, they haven't taken it down, but they have, you know, obviously taken a lot of the kind of extra support away, including events and merch and all of this kind of stuff to help them further their careers and stuff like that, because they don't believe that this is anything that they can pursue anymore, because people just don't watch it for whatever reason that might be. And again, you know, as Kiara's saying here, you know, all of these Holostars members could be some of the most talented people, you know, out there. They could be some of the most talented, you know, VTubers or whatever they are. Like, because again, obviously I know a lot of people have different niches. Either they're good at singing or they're good at games or they're good at whatever. You know, they could be the most talented people in regards to that. But even then, it does still come down to luck, right? It still comes down to the fact that you know, sometimes they might get unlucky, and this is just one of those situations, right? And I think she's right. But obviously she did end up getting a lot of backlash, or a lot of kind of, I guess, misconstrued, you know, stuff from this, saying, I see people misinterpreting this. I'm saying I don't personally agree with the decisions that have been made. Yeah, obviously saying, you know, she knows that there needs to be a push. You know, people need to give them a push to succeed, but now they don't have that push, which is obviously exactly what she's kind of talking about there. They're saying, one last thing, me not having collabed with them does not matter. I'll speak my mind and criticize things that I don't think are right. It might not be enough to change things, but I want to make it clear that I don't agree regardless. If you'd rather have me be quiet about it, then I'm not sure you're on their side either, which, yeah, it's true, right? And I don't know why people were getting so mad over this, right? There's been a lot of quote retweets in regards to this. A lot of people agreeing with Kiara as well, you know, saying, I'm ironically starting to cry right now. A lot of people came to me saying, you have good cards to become a good VTuber. I'm sitting there almost 6 years trying everything I can do. Oh, Kiara, the Yoshi you are. Then, yeah, obviously that is true, right? You know, sometimes it will take longer than, you know, you think it will. Like, sometimes things don't go always to plan as soon as you start, you know, content creating or anything like that, you know. Sometimes it can take years for it to actually even, you know, take off for a while. I mean, you know, I only started this VTuber channel, you know, last year, right? I didn't actually start this until last year. Now, obviously, I did stuff before in content creation, which was also successful, but you've got to find that next bigger success, which obviously is where the kind of pushing you to keep going is the kind of thing, right? And, you know, I never thought I'd be making, you know, videos on VTuber news and drama, you know, years down from whenever I started making content. But here I am, you know, and that's just kind of how it happens, right? And obviously a lot of people, including Rima, have been saying there's a saying that luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. You can spend years holding your craft, wanting everything you have, but without the luck spark, it might not go anywhere. And then the moment hits at the right time, and all of those years of work finally get to shine through. You ride that wave. Took me many years and a lot of trial and effort to get here, and I still feel like I'm finding myself. Luck played a huge part, and I won't pretend otherwise. The best advice I've gotten is that your viewers will tell you what your strengths are before you even realize it yourself, and that's been so true, which, yeah, obviously is true 100%. It's good to see that there is some positive kind of responses to this, because you know, obviously, you know, there's one of the posts I put here, a rare Holostars fan never watches Holostars, which is true. But yeah, these are some of the kind of responses that have been coming out towards us, saying, oh my beggars, you know, Twitter stars fans are showing their true colors again. Good thing we won't need to see them anytime soon. Saying, could have helped the like Kali, Iavi, Shiori, or Ollie, but you're too glued into idol culture to give a damn about being human towards the gender that propped you up. So again, that's what people are getting so mad about. Saying that may be true, but with all due respect, why are you saying this when you've beaten the odds yourself? It feels like you're dimming other people's potential, especially when you know there are talented individuals out there, but choose not to support or acknowledge them. So what people are essentially mad at is the fact that, you know, she hasn't supported them, which is obviously what she mentions in her kind of response there, saying, you know, me not having collabed with them doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter, right? You know, Kiara doesn't need to help them out in regards to making a comment on how they haven't been helped out, right? Because it's not her kind of prerogative to do so, right? She's not the one that, you know, should be the one to carry Holostars on her back and, you know, get them through the finish line and, you know, really get their careers going. No, it's not up to her. It's not her problem. It's you know, it's covers. It's the actual talent themselves. It's all of this kind of stuff. It's not just one random talent from Hololive. It's not her fault. You know, that they've done bad, right? Just because she didn't collab with them, which I think is pretty crazy. But again, that's what you know, people are saying. They're saying the push could come from the more famous peers from the other side, but unfortunately, it's an idol company. So obviously, yeah, they're saying like, oh, you could have helped them, you could have you know, shown them off. But to be fair, I think they've had quite a lot of exposure, right? Holostars has had a lot of attention towards them already without the help of Kiara, and they're still at the place where they've gotten themselves to now, right? I think that is 100% the case that, you know, people are kind of missing there, is they've gotten the attention. They've gotten quite a lot of attention because, again, they're literally with Cover. Like, let's be real here, right? Cover, you know, they also have Hololive, which obviously one of the biggest, if not the biggest VTuber agency in the world. Holostars should be a success from just based off of that. But of course, it wasn't for whatever reason. Maybe they just got unlucky, right? And that's fine, right? And I don't think it's up to Kiara for her to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to be the one that gives them all the attention, because, I don't think she really has that pull to kind of revive Holostars. I think a lot of people are just blaming it on her for like no reason at all. People said, okay, but this isn't really what needed to be said right now. Of all the times you choose these words instead of encouraging words and supporting those who are struggling, this is just kind of insensitive to say, or it just feels like that. I don't think it is, right? She said, she's literally just saying that people need to be supported to achieve success. What else are you getting from it? Which, yeah, that's what she's saying. She's saying that they need support, right? But again, they don't have any support, and that is why it's not so successful, right? So respectfully, this has to be the most tone-deaf response / tweet at your co-workers. Which again, I don't think it is at all. I think it is a fair enough tweet. It's true, right? It's true. There's nothing wrong about it. She's only said facts, and yeah, people were getting mad about that. But yeah, I mean, that is essentially all there is for this situation. I just kind of wanted to cover it because I thought it was pretty interesting how mad people were getting over it. But again, I don't think she said anything wrong. I think she said everything right. And I think there, is nothing to really be mad about. But that's spoiling off for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop, use my code Kazza, get 10% off. Again, I've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.